So what prompted the shift to the anchor desk?
Paul Majors left. So Paul Majors leaves and leaves a void at the anchor desk, and there's sort of an internal competition to see who's going to get that job. And ultimately, they decided that Frank Vassalero was the choice, and so they moved Frank from morning sunrise anchoring to the evening newscast. And they came to me and said, "What would you think about doing news?" And at that time, both my girls, I think, were in third and first grade, and I loved it when I was working nights and weekends and doing sports when they were preschool, because you could take them to Valley Fair, the State Fair, whatever it was. It was always like a Monday or a Tuesday, and you had the place basically to yourself. And suddenly they were in school, and my schedule wasn't so great nights and weekends. So I said, well, you know what? I'll give this a shot. And I did it on an interim basis, and ultimately I liked it. They paid me more money, but ultimately it was a schedule change. Even though as difficult as it was getting up in the middle of the night and working that shift, it allowed me to be at everything my kids ever did. And so there was a great payoff for that.
So how did you convince KARE that a sports guy could come and do a broader news content?
You know, they came to me. They recruited me. They're constantly doing market research on you, and ultimately through this process, as flawed as it might be, it's their only way of kind of that and your ratings, like however you did in the overall ratings, would determine your likability. What was your Q ratings? And for whatever reason, the people of the Twin Cities have always been very good to me. I always resonated high in those things, and so they wanted me. They just said, just come in and don't do anything different than you're doing now in sports. Just be you. And so that's what I did, and it worked. Kim Inslee and myself went from, I guess they were probably third in 1 hour and second in the other, to both being solid number one in both hours for about the next decade.
Wow. So 2 decades at KARE.
Yes, yeah, plus 2 decades plus.
So how was it being at the same place for that long?
I get told by my wife and my daughters like how frustrated I was and how unhappy I was, but I never almost looked at it that way. I mean, I got there at the time when the market and the station were almost like on a rocket ship, climbing up the ladder. And it was just a wonderful place to be, and it was just a very positive place to be. And I never really looked at it like I was going to work, even on those mornings when I was going in at 2:00, 2:30 in the morning. It was difficult, but once I got in my car and started driving in, I was excited when I got there, and I really wanted to do what I wanted to do, because I guess I had a need to be in front of people, which I always thought, well, I was there to serve the public. That was a lot of it, but a lot of it was, I guess I had a need to be seen too.
So talk about the exit from KARE.
I have 2 daughters, and the older of the 2 got into the college of her dreams, which was the college of our financial nightmare. And so I started looking for ways to supplement my income. I figured I'm done at 10:30, 11 a.m. I can get another job until whatever time. And my wife's like, you can't do that. You'll be dead. And I said, no, it's kind of like going to prison. If it's like 3 or 4 years, I can do that. You know what I mean? It's like, just tell me it's not forever. I just don't want her to get out of school with a boatload of debt, or us to get out with a boatload of debt. And so when searching for this way to supplement my income, I was introduced to somebody who decided they wanted me to play a bigger role than that. They wanted me to come over and into their company, and they would compensate me in the same way that I was being compensated. So I thought, wow, I can work a 9-to-5 schedule, basically, and I can still get the same sort of income, and with the potential to earn even more. And so I took that risk of leaving the career that I always had to go and do something else, because I felt an obligation to provide for my family.
Sure. You were, in a sense, in a new pond. You were a fish in a new pond after 20-some years.
Yes.
Talk about your learning curve during that time.
Massive. And went out there almost the way I went into broadcasting, with a sense of bravado. And so if other people have done it, I can do it, not knowing anything about what I was supposed to do, and that there was actually a process to what I needed to do. And I needed to learn the process. And that was very much a self-teaching thing through trial and error. Proud of the results I generated and what I was able to do. And at the same time, and made a whole new set of contacts and a whole new way of thinking by doing that. And it's stimulating and difficult, but necessary. I think as I look at people, I don't think you want to be necessarily, unless it's what you really want to do and you figured out that's that one thing and I'm good with that. I think it's as we age, I think it's good to continually be challenged to stay up with change as it's happening, because
I think
otherwise
that's a
you have
great
this
point.
tendency to step back and kind of let things pass you by. Well, I'm not going to do social media. Well, I'm not going to learn how to operate a computer, whatever that is. And I saw that with my parents as they aged and my in-laws as they aged, and you tried to get them sort of into email and things like that, and to say, oh, you're too young to not be participating. Well, I had to take that medicine myself.